All right, let's get right into it. If you're shipping AI products right now, you know there's this massive operational shift happening. It's what really separates the toys and demos from the systems that are actually ready for production. And it all comes down to one thing. How do we guarantee AI quality when we're moving at lightning speed? And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head. We're seeing the end of an era. The age of just going by intuition is over, and the age of pure instrumentation is here. You know, the days of an engineer just kind of looking at an AI's output and going, yeah, that feels right. Those days are officially numbered. So let's just be super blunt about it. For any serious enterprise-level AI, the vibe check is dead. It was fine to get us started, sure, but now it's the single biggest thing holding us back from shipping new features with any real confidence. So yeah, let's start right there. The old way of doing things, that manual, almost artisanal eyeball test, it just can't hang anymore. It doesn't scale. It can't keep up with how fast modern AI development moves. I mean, really think about it. You've got multiple teams all pushing new prompts and changes every single day. How in the world are you supposed to manually review every possible output to make sure you didn't just break something? The short answer is you can't. It is literally impossible. So this old school approach leaves you with two bad options. Either you move at a crawl, or you ship bugs that just completely destroy user trust. And that was the core problem that absolutely had to be solved. And that brings us to the solution, the new industry standard, really. We're now moving from relying on human evaluators to using AI to evaluate, well, other AI. This whole new paradigm is called the LLM-as-a-Judge. So what is it exactly? Well, it's this big operational shift. Instead of a person doing a vibe check, we're now using our most powerful, cutting-edge AI models as automated graders. They can score, validate, and test thousands, even millions of AI outputs overnight. That's something a human team could never, ever do. It's how you get rigorous, automated testing at a scale that actually matches your production environment. And look, we're not talking about just any old models here. Teams are using the absolute state-of-the-art for this. For instance, a model like GPT-4o, with its crazy ability to use a computer like a person, is perfect for grading really complex coding tasks that happen in a terminal. But then you have something like Claude 3 Opus, which excels at that deep, multi-step reasoning that makes it the go-to for evaluating intricate, long-form logic. You gotta use the best tool for the job. Okay, so how does this really work under the hood? Well, the magic is all about translating those fuzzy, subjective vibes into cold, hard, objective numbers. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of the specific, quantifiable metrics these AI judges use to score everything. See, this new world defines quality with concrete metrics. Let's take faithfulness. This one measures if the AI's answer is actually supported by the source documents it was given. This is pretty much our number one weapon against hallucinations. And then you have answer relevancy, which is just what it sounds like. Is the model actually answering the user's question, or is it wandering off on some weird tangent? For tasks where being concise is everything, this metric is absolutely crucial. And these scores aren't just for a report nobody reads. They create real, actionable thresholds. For example, a lot of production teams now have a hard and fast rule. If a new prompt change causes the average faithfulness score to dip below 0.85, that's it. The deployment is automatically blocked. It becomes a clear, objective quality gate, no arguments. And that right there brings us to the most powerful part of this whole thing, integrating these LLM judges directly into your CI/CD pipeline. This is what turns evaluation from this manual, after-the-fact chore into an automated, proactive safety net. So here's the play-by-play. A developer pushes a new prompt to the code. Instantly, an automated job just spins up, and the LLM-as-a-Judge gets to work, running a whole battery of tests. It scores for faithfulness, relevancy, whatever metrics matter. And if any of those scores drop below that threshold, like that 0.85 for faithfulness, the build fails, the deployment is blocked. A bad regression never even gets close to production. That is how you scale quality. But this is where the story takes a really fascinating and maybe a little bit of a worrying turn. Just when we've built this beautiful automated system for pure objective judgment, a new, way more subtle problem has shown up. A hidden bias in the judges themselves. So this is the critical question we have to ask now. We're using AI to grade AI, but what if the grader has its own favorites? Are these judges really, truly impartial?
So, some incredible research from Anthropic uncovered something wild. Some models show what they call self-recognition bias. What they found, as you can see here, is that when a model was told it was grading an output from another Claude model, it gave that output a more lenient, more favorable score. Basically, it was biased towards its own kind.
And what's really interesting is that this bias isn't the same across all models. The effect was super obvious in a model like Claude 3 Sonnet. It showed some serious favoritism. But then the more advanced model, Claude 3 Opus, showed almost no bias at all. Its favoritism was less than zero point 0.2 points on a 10-point scale, which is basically nothing. This is such a critical lesson for all of us. Even as we automate our quality control, we're introducing brand new, really complex ways for things to fail. It just goes to show that automation isn't some magic bullet. To do this right, you have to have a deep technical understanding of these systems and be really careful about which model you choose to be your judge. You can't just grab one off the shelf and blindly trust its scores. So all of this leaves us with a new frontier-level question. Okay, we've pretty much figured out how to automate judgment and finally move past the subjective eyeball test. But as we start to rely more and more on these powerful systems, the next big challenge is crystal clear. How do we automate vigilance against the next wave of hidden, subtle biases? That's the problem we all need to start thinking about right now.